Turn the page, live your life every day. Don't let anybody...
Hey, Mike Foster here. It's another episode of What You're Reading. I've been doing this for a few years, and I hope you enjoy them. I'm in my office here in Las Vegas. Got a few books behind me. And let me tell you what I've been reading lately. This couple, let me see, 2 nonfictions, 2 fictions, another nonfiction. Let's start off with Let Me Finish by Roger Angell. Roger Angell, this guy's over 90 years old. He's been writing for the New Yorker for dozens and dozens of years. And this is a kind of like a memoir, autobiography, where he talks about his life. Stepdad was E.B. White, who wrote what? Charlotte's Web, among others, and Peter Rabbit. So that's pretty cool. But not only that, this is about his relationship with his dad, his mom, growing up in the 30s, going through the war, going through the Great Depression, things that's changed since then, including all the way up to 9/11. The guy's still alive. Let Me Finish, Roger Angell. He's known more for his sports books, but this was a really good read. I really enjoyed it. So check this one out. Let Me Finish, Roger Angell. And the title comes from not let me finish and end my finish the rest of my life. It's like when you're telling a story and people are like, Bubba, go, wow, let me finish. That's what it's about. So there's that. Let's do nonfiction, then fiction, then nonfiction. This is Walter Mosley. Have you ever read Walter Mosley? This guy's written almost 50 books. He started with the Easy Rollins books way back in the early 90s. I have all his early books signed, which have a lot of value, but it's not just that. They're great books, like Devil in a Blue Dress, A Red Death, White Butterfly. But this one this one came out, I think, last year. It's called Down the River Onto the Sea. Walter Mosley, a great writer that you should check out. He writes mysteries, he writes crime, he writes literature, and this was a really good mystery crime novel about a guy that was framed, and he has to spend, he's a PI, and he has to spend the entire 300 plus pages of this book to try to figure stuff out, and through it all keep his relationship with his family alive, his daughter, ex-wife, and really well written. One of the best reads I've read this year. Down the River Onto the Sea by Walter Mosley. Walter Mosley's a writer that you guys should check out. He's outstanding. That's great. What else you reading, Mike? This one is great. This is called Harry's Bar. Now, a name like Harry's Bar you think would be in New York City or in Chicago or Boston. But this is The Life and Times of the Legendary Venice, Italy landmark by Arrigo Cipriani. And his father, whose name is Giuseppe, that's Joseph, but Giuseppe Cipriani, his dad opened Harry's Bar in the 1930s. He was a hard worker in the hotel bar business, and he always wanted to open up his own bar. And he met an American named Harry that was kind of depressed, alcoholic, that was passing through, and he came to the bar all the time. And he was down on his luck, and one time he said, and Giuseppe said, "What's wrong, Harry?" And Harry said, "I'm, my allowance, I don't have my inheritance, I'm down on my luck." And so Harry loaned him 1,000 lira, which was about $100 during that time. And he never saw him again until about a month later, Harry came back and said, "My life has changed, I'm up on luck, I've got plenty of money. Giuseppe, here's that 1,000 back, and here's 40,000 lira for your dream, your own restaurant bar." And that's when Giuseppe opened Harry's Bar. He named it after Harry. The other thing amazing about Harry's Bar, it's been a Venice landmark for over 80 years, is that that's where the carpaccio came from. He invented carpaccio, which is raw meat or fish put together, which people use today, named after a famous Venetian artist. Carpaccio, Giuseppe invented that. And the other thing he invented that people should know is the Bellini. He wanted a good use of peaches, which is a big Italian staple in the summer. Peaches bloom everywhere. And they ripen, and he wanted to do something with that tremendous flavor, and he mixed it with Prosecco, which is an Italian champagne, and he discovered that the colors, that beautiful peach color, reminded him of a Bellini, another artist from Italy, a Bellini portrait that he admired, and that's why he named it Bellini. And this guy's got a legacy that still's going on. Harry's Bar, I love this read. It was really cool. What else you read, Mikey? Okay, now this one came out about 10 years ago. It's called Mad Dogs by James Grady. Now check out James Grady. James Grady wrote 6 Days of the Condor. He's a mystery, espionage, spy novelist that is really one of the best. He wrote this. It's about 5 burnt out veterans that went into, that did spy stuff. This is back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and they were in a institution that dealt with them. They said they were crazy. They had mental issues. They were on drugs, to help them cope. They're in therapy, and our government created these folks because we put them in situations that most human beings couldn't survive. So that gives them post-traumatic stress disorder, among many other things. But what happens is their therapist gets murdered, and it's blamed on them. So they have to figure out a way to escape from the institution and try to prove their innocence. And this is folks that have been off their meds with the U.S. government chasing them. And it's a fantastic, fast, furious, exciting novel that you should read. It was a good read. It's called Mad Dogs by James Grady. I recommend it. I really enjoyed it. And the last book that Mike's reading, or read, this was Inside Studio 54. Now, I got this book from my wife because she loves Studio 54. And if you remember or recall what Studio 54 was, it happened in the 1970s. It was a place in New York. It was a discotheque. And it was where the famous people went, and all hell broke loose. There was drugs, there was booze, there was partying, there was dancing, there was all kinds of nonsense. And this guy, Mark Fleischman, was the second owner. The original owners got tax evasion charges, and they went to jail. They sold it to Mark, and he talks about all that and a lot of inside stuff at Studio 54. An interesting story. My wife and I were in New York City about 10 years ago, and we were walking through I think it was off of, don't quote me, it could have been off Broadway, could have been off Fifth Ave, but we were getting into the 50s, 52, 53, 54, and this building was open, and we walked in, and it said they were doing renovations for a new restaurant, and there was a little sign on the side saying the original Studio 54 was here. And we asked the workers, and my wife was fascinated because she loves the legend of disco and Studio 54, and the guy said, yeah, we're renovating this for a new place, and this used to be where Studio 54 was. So my wife and I can say that we've been to Studio 54. So that's pretty cool. Check this one out. These are all great books. What you reading, Mike? I'm reading all this stuff. Awesome books. Check them out. You guys, let me know what you're reading, and keep reading. Keep reading every day. Share it with me. Let me know what you're reading, and enjoy books. My goodness, it's one of the greatest things in the world. For more videos like this, check out Live Life 365 on my YouTube channel by the same name. Until next time, keep living life 365 and reading. Peace.
Live life 365.
What was his name? Venice, Italy. There's the thumbnail. A book a week's old, yes. Sweet Babu. I'm going to tell these people they don't even really know it. I never read these books. I can't read. I just don't have Baba.